Hey, 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 everybody. My name is Lauren,
And I'm Alnisa.
and this is Don't
Don't
Listen
listen to
to Me.
me. Okay?
Are we
Don't.
speaking up? Why we ain't say that together? That was just okay. This
It was
is
lazy.
Don't Listen to Me podcast, episode one, baby.
Take one. Okay? And we are sisters. Okay? We're sisters. Okay? Yes. I'm the
Yep,
oldest.
and I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start off by letting y'all know what, sis.
You know what? You know what we want to start off with? What you drinking, sis? We want to start off with your choice of wine for
Yes.
this week. We got to do it every week. We're gonna bring y'all a new wine because we're wine connoisseurs.
Self-proclaimed, and it still counts. Thank you very much.
somewhat.
All right, so I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna give a little disclaimer.
Hmm.
I don't like when people be acting like you just low class when you
Mm.
drink twist top bottle wine. You already know what I'm drinking, sis. Ain't nothing but the same OG. Ain't that what
Same
J1
old,
said?
same old.
Jam jar. I don't know if this is showing up like inverted, but jam jar says sweet Shiraz. And you don't even need to. Don't even
Lord,
worry about finding a wine opener because look at that. Look at that.
listen,
Look how
the
that goes.
convenience is everything, and the taste is even better.
So
Let me
good.
see your
It's
glass. Let me
sweet
see your
red.
glass.
We stemless tonight, baby.
Oh, oh,
Classy.
baby. Okay. I'm here
Yes.
for it.
What you drinking, sis?
You know what? We are sisters. Let me tell you what. Let me tell you what. I'm gonna show you my glass first.
Oh,
I
oh,
got
okay.
I got
What's that little? What's
lipstick.
going
I got
on?
the stem. I got the
Oh,
stem. I got the stem. You
oh,
see.
you got into it. Hmm.
But guess what? You ain't gonna believe this.
What?
I got a twist top too.
What is that, sis? What is it? What is it? Is it Arbor Mist?
Convenience. Girl,
Why does that
what?
look like an Arbor Mist
You're born
pie?
in the 1900s, aren't you? You're born in the 1900s.
Oh, why that look like a Arbor? Look, that look like an Arbor Mist
You're
bottle.
born in
Look,
the 1900s. That's what we
hold
was drinking in the
up.
1900s.
Okay.
Okay, listen. This I love rosé. Okay, I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
rosé, but this particular 19 Crimes with Uncle Snoop Doggy Dogg, it hits. It hits hard. Okay, love me some wine.
All
So
right.
cheers, sis. Let's
Cheers,
cheers.
sis. Cheers. Boop.
No matter where we are, no matter what we're drinking, we always cheers.
Literally, except water. Our brother, he won't allow us to cheers with water in the cup. Apparently, it's bad
It's a
luck.
thing. It's a thing. It's a real thing. But hey,
Well, that's good. That's real good. That's real good.
you've
All
been waiting
right,
for that,
so
haven't you? You've been waiting for
that
that
first
one.
sip, ain't nothing like the first little taste.
I know, girl.
All
I
right, so
know.
we haven't really talked in preparation for this here podcast because
Girl,
there's just lots of things to talk about. So I just need to catch up on what's going on, what's
current
up, what's up with
events.
you though, your current events and my current events. So we did for Labor Day, the family got together and went to your
Yes, we
house.
were all over my house,
But since
barbecue.
then, what's up? Give it to me.
Girl,
Straight no chaser.
listen, straight no chaser. If I'm just being honest, it's hard out here for a pimp
Heard.
when you're trying to make the money for the rent. Okay, every day. I'm out here making the money for the rent. Okay.
What you up to?
Oh, child. It's been a tough week. This was a short week too, so it was just like I I thought I was gonna coast.
Yeah.
and not have too much going on, but that wasn't the case, just a lot. I mean, taking on this new role part-time,
What's your new role?
just something I love
Let
to
them know.
do. I'm teaching business courses for a university online. So my days are long and
She
then my
says she
nights
a
are long too.
professor, y'all.
I'm a
Don't
professor.
don't
Don't
gloss
judge me.
over.
Don't judge
Don't gloss
me.
over that. You out here. She a
I'm a
whole
real one.
professor.
I'm a real one. Okay. I've been grading papers. I've been grading papers. My eyes is crossed. I've been I done
Oh
had on
my
my
god.
readers all day. Look at
Ah,
these.
stun on him, sis.
Let me just put them on for you. Because I can't I take these with
Too
me
cute.
everywhere. Okay.
Those are
I
cute.
got to have these. But no, I've just been yeah, I have a large class and it's just like,
Really?
yeah,
How
it's a
many students?
lot. 37. How I'm supposed to grade
Oh.
37 papers?
Do you have like an associate professor that helps or no?
No, I mean, I've been pacing
Mm.
myself. I really do. I'm a very strategic person and I make sure to prioritize and rationalize and be like, okay, I got to do
Hmm.
this today. I got to do that today. But your girl ain't had no sleep. Okay.
Mm.
Like
Heard.
zero, zero.
Mm.
So that's new for me because I'm old and I be trying to get my Z's. I be trying to get my Z's in, okay?
Yeah.
But I'm loving the experience. It's not that it's challenging. It's just something new and I just got to get the hang of it. I actually really, really, really enjoy it. I love giving feedback. I love
That's
communicating
good.
with the students and providing my learned knowledge. And so it's so far like just it's been great. I just
That's
gotta
good.
figure out this work-life balance of also incorporating sleep
Yeah.
because I love my sleep and
What
it's
an
the lack
idea.
thereof. What you been
Yeah.
up to? Tell me about what you been up to.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, but just on your thing, I'm sure over time it'll like level itself out. I guess
Hmm.
my what was most recent for me is kind of along the lines of what you're talking about. I recently got a promotion at work and I have like a team now.
Raise
So
the roof.
very excited about it.
Yeah,
And
that's
this is my
awesome. So happy
first,
for you.
thank you, sis. This is my first week in the position. And I thought that I was going to kind of get to warm up
Coast a little
and,
bit,
like
just
dip a toe,
ease.
then two, then three, whoop, whoop, whoop.
Mm-mm,
And now we
mm-mm.
in here. Not so. Not
You
so,
just
God
jumped right
said.
in the deep. You jumped in the
Girl,
deep end, didn't you? You just jumped
I
in.
I literally, I got to work at 7:45 this morning, and I'm okay. I'm not about to. I don't know
Expose yourself.
who
Don't.
going. I'm not going.
Who gonna listen? Don't expose.
Mm-mm.
Shh. Don't listen to her. Don't
Okay,
listen to her.
don't listen to me. So I got to work at 7:45 a.m. and
A.M.
and
Eastern
like
Standard Time.
Eastern. Do you hear me? So then like halfway through the day, there were a few meetings. I did a little presentation, some little light training stuff with my team, and then after that, the manager said, "Okay, we need to have like a meeting." We were supposed to have a 2 hour meeting through the day, but he was like, "Okay,
2 hours.
he was like,
Jesus.
we'll just have it at 5. We'll leave here at 5:30. Go just kind of all just so somewhere quiet." Um,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll meet. So we met at like we went to like this hotel. We didn't leave there until 8 p.m. So I just felt like it was like a 12-hour workday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I'm tired. I'm tired, but I'm very excited. Like this is I've we grew up in church, so I
Yeah.
feel like I've always had some sort of exposure to helping, supporting a team, leading a
Hmm.
team, so to speak, with just
Right.
working in ministry, but never in the corporate setting. So it's
Hmm.
kind of exciting to have this opportunity where it's like, oh, I'm actually building a career now, and it feels
Yeah.
good. It feels good. I'm excited about it. So
Hot
that's
dog. That's exciting.
a professor and a supervisor. I'm on my way, sis. I'm on my way.
You are there, sis. What you talking about? You are there, boo. You
You
doing
feel
it. I'm
me?
so happy for you.
Thank
And
you, sis.
I know this is going to be a great opportunity, learning experience, even learning curves, but
Hmm.
you are going to be just fine. You know
I
exactly
receive.
what to do. You know exactly what to do. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. I
And
appreciate
they
it.
better know your worth.
Mm,
Period.
bet. What you got next,
Yeah.
sis?
Well, I think this topic is fitting for like just as what you said. We grew up in the church. Our mom is a
Oh yeah.
minister,
Hmm.
and um, we actually I watched it this I watched it first, and then when you we were over at the house together for Labor Day, we all watched it together, and it was interesting just to kind of hear, some of the thoughts that really kind of linked in together with what we were thinking about this. And I know that this is a hot topic right now, and probably even more so because we're from Atlanta. We live here. We born and raised, literally. And so we know the story very well. But the movie Honk for Jesus with Sterling Brown and Regina Hall has caused lots of different conversations. So I would like to discuss that topic, but I want you to, you know what? Let's rate the movie. Should we rate
Oh,
the movie? Let's
th-
rate the movie.
yeah. I like this.
Maybe
Okay.
we should rate the movie, and then give the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
what's your rating?
It's
We
so
going
tough
one
for
to
me to
10 or
rate
one
it.
to five?
Child.
Let's go
Let's
one
do
to five.
great minds think alike. I was gonna say 1 to 5. Yes. I don't know why that makes me feel like
Makes us
I'll
feel a
have as
little
many
better.
numbers to choose from. Shoot. It's it's not an easy one for me to rate. I was literally talking to someone about this. I feel like it just depends on your background, your backstory as an individual. And I guess every movie is like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of
But
course.
for me, 1 to 5, if I'm just giving it
Give it. Don't listen.
right.
Don't listen
Don't
to
listen to
us.
me. Don't listen to us. We just
Okay,
talking,
we
bro.
just talking, just talking this through.
Okay, I would rate it 1 to 5, one being the worst, five being the best.
You say the number that I'm thinking. We got to talk about it.
I don't. I wouldn't watch it again. I wouldn't watch it again. I don't think it was a bad movie. I actually don't think it was a bad movie. I
Hmm.
just did not enjoy watching it. I enjoy. What do that mean? It was a
You know
bad movie?
what? You know
Okay,
what?
I didn't enjoy
Oh,
watching.
listen.
I
You put it
didn't
out there.
enjoy watching it. I enjoyed the conversation that it started, but watching it, maybe it was
Mm.
triggering. Maybe it was. Okay, so you know
This
what?
is it's so
Now
much
that
to
I'm
unpack.
talking it through, I watch TV for like escapism, movies for escapism to like escape the
Yes, the
realities,
real world.
entertainment purposes. Not to say that I don't like dramas and things like that, but this sometimes when it's
It's
such a heavy
it's
kind
heavy.
of
It was heavy.
subject, I
Yeah.
wanted to have some sort of resolve. Like I love, like, okay, so I can watch a
Mm.
movie like Enough about a woman who, was abused and
Mm-hmm.
all these hard things, but then in the end, pop pop, she busts out all the moves she been practicing for 7 months.
Come on, somebody.
Wow, now he
Wow.
gone. Happy ending. You know what I'm saying?
Happy. Everybody
Happy.
happy.
It
Everybody
paid
happy.
off all that pain and suffering and sadness that I sat
Sacrifice.
through for an hour and 15 minutes. The last 15 minutes, you now I'm back in. I'm happy. It's a victory. But that one, it was just like,
It
maybe
just
because I
left you.
lived so close to this type of storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Not I
Mm-hmm.
ain't never been no first lady. I never none of this. But I'm just saying the sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
the
yeah.
world, been
Right, right.
raised in the church, worked in ministry. I've had some
Yeah,
great experiences in ministry, but
right.
some of the ones that were
Some
not so
unpleasant
great.
ones, right.
It was just like, dang, I'm just watching this movie, and ain't nobody going. Okay, well,
Y'all just here.
all right.
Okay.
So two.
Well,
It's a two. 10 toes
it's a
down in it.
two.
It's a two for me.
Stick to it, sis. Stick to it, sis. Ain't nobody listening to you. Okay, that's your thing. And I preface that by saying,
Yes.
don't listen to me. Okay.
Okay. That's why you're
All right.
saying what you're saying. I got it.
Don't listen
Hmm.
to me. Don't listen to me. Here's my rating, and then I'm
All
gonna tell
right.
you why.
Give it to us.
Usually, me and you be like really on the same page.
Hmm.
Really.
Usually.
Usually, that's how it pans out. I mean, we do have the same mama and the same daddy, so we kind of
That tracks.
like-minded. Okay.
Hmm.
However, I probably will give it more of a rating, and I'll tell you why. I'm
Oh
gonna
no,
give it
go
a
for it.
3.5.
You see, we get fractions now. Oh my gosh.
And nobody said there were rules. We make our own rules here. So I'm
You
giving it a
said it like you were
3.5.
about to give it a 5 or something.
I'm giving it a
Okay.
3.5. Okay.
All right. Give us
It
the
wasn't
explanation.
it wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't the worst. Now,
Okay.
let
A
me
little
preference this.
above average. Okay.
It's just yeah,
3.5. That's
that's above average, but
yeah.
let me tell you why I gave it that rating because I think there are two sides to this. I think that Regina Hall, like, hands down,
Oh yeah.
phenomenal. There
Oh
is
yeah.
nothing bad that I can say about this brilliant, gorgeous Black woman.
Mhm. Mhm.
This
Mhm.
role couldn't have been easy. And when I tell you,
That's true.
she played the you know what out of that role.
You know what?
I was a
You're
believer. I
right.
thought that she was a part of the scandal.
You're
It wasn't
right.
it wasn't bad acting.
It
So
was
that's
excellent. Oh shoot. You're right.
Sterling Brown. Let me tell you something. This
Mm.
the the acting, sir,
So good.
it was amazing. I can't take that
Right.
away from them. So that is
Right.
why I gave them more of a higher rating because they are it. They
Yeah.
are it. Now, the actual concept and the storyline behind it, I think
Let's
that
say spoiler alert, because I
oh,
want to
spoiler.
actually talk about it. So
Mhm. Mhm.
anybody that watches, just if you haven't seen it and you want to see it,
You just
skip ahead. But
just
yeah, but we're
mute
about
us
to
real quick.
spoil it. Yeah,
Mute us
we're
real
about to
quick,
spoil it.
but still
Spoiler,
watch.
spoiler. Yeah.
Spoiler
Boom.
alert.
All right, not to cut you off, sis. Go ahead.
Mm-mm. Listen, the way that they portrayed the church, and even though as soon as I watched it, I knew exactly the storyline behind
Oh,
it
how did you
made
feel about
me
that?
uh even when you say it, it makes
Mm.
me cringe because it's so close to home.
It's so
And
close.
and honest to God, when I see things like that, the only thing I can think of is how the other person feels. Like how do the real characters that played out the scandal, how do they feel about watching something that was pretty
That's a
much
toughie.
making a mockery or comedy
Yeah.
of the whole situation, but kind of inserting some of the, you know, indiscretions and I just feel like I just want to be empathetic for people when they're going through things like that because as we said, we have grown up in the church and we
Hmm.
have seen things that are kind of out played out and it's just not in the best light and in the best
Hmm.
way. Maybe not on that level, but even on the
Right.
levels that we've seen things play out, I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine, and I'm not sticking up for, you know, the actions or the things that took place, but I am thinking about the other people that are still here and
Yeah.
were affected by this, even his
That's a good point.
children. You know what I'm saying?
Very
Like,
good
how does
point.
his children think about, like, and
Or his
it's
widow, you know,
his widow,
the wife. Like that was a
that's
character
the
in the
main
movie.
person. That's the main
Yeah.
person I'm talking of. Like, how does she feel and how do the children
Yeah.
feel
So
to just have
maybe
that broadcasted?
just to give an overview, not everybody grew up in the church and not everybody
Mm-hmm.
knows about like mega church. So this movie Honk for Jesus, there's a scandal that happens and they kind of thread you along throughout the whole
Mm-hmm.
movie and they don't
Mm-hmm.
really give you a
Right.
clear boom of what the scandal was until the end. So essentially it was a scandal where the mega spoiler again, the pastor of a congregation had been accused of sleeping with some young men, like 18,
Mm-hmm.
19, 20-year old, and
Yeah.
he was married to a woman, was the mega pastor of a church.
Here in
And
Atlanta.
the movie, that was the scandal in the movie. This was a scandal that was directly related to a mega pastor, and I don't know, I don't even feel comfortable saying his name, but this is a real life person who was very
Yeah.
prominent, huge ministry, like
Mm-hmm.
we done been to that
We
church.
done
I
been
mean,
to that church. We done
I,
listened to that
I
word.
mean, just very. I mean, it's tricky because just like you're saying, I couldn't imagine being a wife or someone who that happened to me, and you
Mm-hmm.
know, now that I've moved on, it's years later, you know, whatever's
Oh
going
my
on in my
goodness.
life, and then boom, for this to happen and I had to relive potentially one of the most horrible things that I ever
Horrifying.
had to live
Right.
through. It is kind of like, ah, that's a real person
Mm-hmm.
that has to sit through all of this that we're talking about now. The movie's out. Like, it's just, it's
It's
just,
tough.
it's
Do you think, but
tough.
this is kind of off
I wanted
topic.
to say this real quick though. I was
Yeah.
gonna say too, it probably wouldn't have been as like if it was a different kind of scandal, because there are so many scandals that happen with mega pastors, all kinds of cheating, you know, babies, but this one was
Yeah.
so specific to
It was very
one
specific.
pastor. It was just like, that's the one that they chose.
And
It
and
was just
and
crazy.
that's the challenge with this. But I will
Yeah.
say, I, I don't know. I haven't really like listened to anyone's opinions about it or if they feel the same way as we do. I feel like, you know, because we're from Atlanta, we just kind of figured out that it was about this
That
particular
is true. Maybe.
pastor.
Yeah.
But it's very possible that maybe, and God knows I'm not, you know, putting down or, talking bad about any men of God or women in this world. But I say that to say it could be, okay, well, yeah, we had the same thing happen in North Carolina, or we had that same thing happen in
True.
Alabama, or we had that
Very
same thing
true.
happen in New York. It really could just depend on the demographics and where you are.
That's true.
I mean, because there's no way that I would believe that this is the only pastor that has had this kind of scandal. Maybe not on to that I don't know, even to that extent it could be. But I think because we're from Atlanta, maybe we view it in a different light because we saw it and we witnessed it. But
Mm-hmm.
what I want to know is, truthfully, do you think that if it was, just say hypothetically speaking, it was solely about this one preacher that we know from Atlanta, don't you think they would have had to have some kind of clearance or get some kind of
Mm.
information from the wife? Like, so in a way, I'm kind of torn of thinking, well, before they release something like that, maybe they had to have a conversation with her to actually understand her feelings, and or because they didn't really necessarily say his name or say the church, maybe they didn't. But
Mm-hmm.
how else would they just create that narrative of her side of the
Yeah.
story? You know what I mean?
You know what? I stopped. I started listening to one podcast and they started talking about this, and I knew we were going to talk about it, so
Mm.
I stopped watching that podcast. But I did catch them say one thing that kind of goes along the lines. One, they talked about the writers of this movie,
Oh,
and
okay.
they mentioned like, oh, the writers, you can kind of tell. And I don't know, I didn't research these writers.
Okay.
Apparently, I think Regina Hall, I watched a little bit of her interview. I think they're like siblings. The writers are siblings, and the writers of the
Okay.
movie. But
Uh-huh.
to me, I think the nuances that they captured about the kind of the patriarchy, maybe in the
Mm-hmm.
church, and some of those toxic, loyal, like, it's stay married till I die, no matter what he doing, no matter what she doing. I can't go to hell because I guess I'll go to hell if I get a divorce. I don't know but they I think some of those things you only know if you've been in church to some capacity, and not even just
Yes.
black church, because I know, not to, no disrespect to anybody's faith, but I think like with Catholicism, like it's a whole thing to get a divorce. Like you can be X'd
Mm-hmm.
out of the Catholic Church if you get a divorce. Even when you want to get a divorce, you have to write, I think, to the Vatican and all
Right.
these
There's a
steps for them.
whole
You can't just get a
process.
divorce. So I
Right.
think a lot of, just for whatever reason, that's the thing a lot in a lot of church and
Mm.
Christianity, like, don't get a divorce. And I think that's something that you only know if you've been exposed to it. So part of me thinks they probably didn't really have to have a conversation with her one on one to know some of this
The
toxic
storyline behind it.
loyalty and faith that a lot of women in ministry, period, will have
Yeah.
to their husband, and possibly men in ministry have to their marriage, just for the sake of, we're not getting a divorce. That line that she said at the end shook me to
Oh,
my core. She said something along the lines of, I would sooner kill him than leave.
l-
Like,
come on now.
I was like,
Come on
this
now.
is, she's like, that is not an option. Even with all this
That's
that's going
going
on,
down.
I would kill him before I leave him. I was like, oh, that's a intense stance to take. So that's one thing. And
Listen.
two, they have like shows kind of like, like, I think like Law and Order, where they just kind of
Mm-hmm.
pull straight from the headlines of actual things that have happened. They
Yes,
don't
that's
have to like
true.
they don't have to like
You're
go to, so
right.
I don't
And that's true.
I
That's
don't
true.
know that they had to get clearance. Maybe, who knows? But I don't listen to us. Don't listen to me.
No.
This ain't factual or
We
actual.
right.
We just
This
guessing.
just we just
That's
we
just
just
my
playing
answer.
along with it. No, no,
Yeah.
no. I completely, and I didn't even put that, in like terms together, like with, like you said, the other shows, that the crime shows that do these things and
Mhm.
just take away from, and pretty much make it their own. But when you talk about the patriarchy in the church, chat, the thing, and this is another spoiler alert. Just mute it real
Mm,
quick if you
mm,
ain't
mm,
seen it.
mm.
I hate to be the one to be the spoiler of the movie, but spoil away, okay? Don't listen to me. But when she was having a conversation with her mother, let me tell you something. That was actually really sentimental for me. That was the one part where I was like, "Oh my God, this is really what women have endured." And even where we are in life and as a society, and just, you know, preaching feminism, and women should have their know their worth, and you know even with all of the things that I feel like we've learned, I cannot believe how many people are still out there that are like, hey, this is do or die. You just got to ride it out.
Yeah.
I know some of those people, like in their marriages and in their life right now. And
And they're
it's
not
just,
like 80 years old.
they my age,
They're
and
our
I ain't gonna tell
age.
you how old I am. But I'm saying they my age. They our
Yeah.
age. And it's shocking to me that instead of just walking in your own purpose and what God has called you to be, that you allow, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Just don't
Oh.
listen to me.
Hmm.
Don't listen to me, because I'll get on a tangent.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think that was the most heartbreaking part of the movie, when she had to have that conversation with her mom.
For
And I
sure.
think, not only, I think that also reflects, like, just in having conversations with your girlfriends, or,
Yeah.
you know, people of the church,
Hmm.
they're saying the same thing, and making you, the person that's going through it, feel as though what you feel is not right or is not
Yeah.
valid. And I think we need to change that conversation, or that tone, because even if you feel like someone, okay, maybe you feel like they should work it out, but also validate their feelings, and also validate the fact that,
Hmm.
you're not wrong to feel this way. You know what I mean?
Right. That
That's
was
a
I
tough one.
even that I think that's my that'd be like my biggest, oh, it grinds my gears so bad when it's like when I feel like everybody around me is trying to is watching me, like I've used this example before, like it's watching me bleed out,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody around me is trying to convince me that it's just ketchup. And
Mm.
I can continue to like go on, and it's like, oh no, 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 you're just that's just ketchup. Just I'm like,
Slow
no,
clap,
this is blood.
sis.
It's my
I'm
blood that's coming out of my
bleeding.
body. I
I'm
am dying. I'm
hurting.
hurting. I'm in pain. And you're trying to basically
Oh, that's so
brainwash me to
good.
think like it's not what you see it
And
as.
they just trying
It's
to put a
something
band-aid
different.
over that whole poured out blood, that you scar of
Literally.
blood you got pouring out.
Literally. Literally. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
And when her oh my God. And when her mom said, excuse me, oh my OMG. When her mom said, she said, when does the praying work, or when does the praying stop?
Let me
And
tell you
her mom was
something.
like, huh, when he's not breathing no more or something, when he dead, basically. I'm like,
That's what prompted her
huh?
to say she was gonna kill him. I got to kill him now. I got to kill him.
girl, it's like heartbreaking. It's like
Shook
how
shock.
many
I got to pour some more wine. Got to
girl,
pour
how
some more
many
wine.
times
Shook
have
shock.
we
Just
so
been told to deal with it and move on.
yes, like
Accept
full
it and move on.
disclosure, I'm divorced and I spoke to quite a few people and not some people who knew the intricate details surrounding what was
Yes.
happening and like we're saying like almost like it's your or I how my understanding of what they were saying to me was
Mm-hmm.
it's your godly duty to remain
Oh,
committed. And that is such a bad thing to say to someone who has
it's
bought into like
it
I
pisses me off.
believe this. I
Pisses
believe this.
me
I
off.
love God. I want, to please God. And does that so
You
that
do
means that
this,
I have to continue to be married to
and
someone
I'm
who does
miserable,
this? To continue to be married to
and
someone
put
who treats me like this
my
consistently?
livelihood or
My
put my
safety,
well-being,
my
put my
well-being, like
mental health at
tangible things,
stake.
not like,
Yeah.
oh, you leave the toilet seat up or
Right.
certain things
No.
that can be
No.
worked out. Even though I am divorced, I do believe a lot of things can be worked out. And I also know that a lot of things cannot be. And
That's
I'm
just
not
that. Now that's
of
just actual and factual.
and
We're not
y'all better
listening to
listen to
you.
us on that. Okay.
I don't care
Now
who's
you ain't got to
listening to
listen
you.
to okay.
Nothing else, but you better listen to
You
that. That's
better
actual and
okay.
factual. Okay,
Y'all
check.
how many I mean you hear all the time people who say in abusive relationships or in unfaithful situations that they end up getting killed and all kinds
Dead.
of things. I'm sorry, my
I
battery
know
about to
we're
die.
taking it.
See,
I
hold
see.
on.
Look at you. I know
See,
we're taking it to the.
that mean hush.
Don't
The Holy
listen.
Ghost said
Don't.
either the Holy Ghost or the enemy. Woo!
It's one
Isn't
of the
that?
two.
Oh, it's the
It's
devil
one
is
of the
busy.
two.
You
It's
know
the
they.
devil.
That's
The
what they say.
devil.
The devil is busy.
The devil is busy.
Laptop
Why
about
we
to
put
die.
everything?
The devil is
Listen.
busy.
Let me
Okay.
tell you something. But I don't want us to. I want us to move on to the next topic because I do think that
Okay.
it
Okay.
does, go into exactly what we've been talking about. However, best part of the movie, and
What?
another reason why
I
I
already
gave it a
know. I already
3.5.
know.
Okay, you ready? You ready? You ready?
Oh my
You ready?
God.
Yeah, we knocking and bucking and ready to fight. I don't know the verse, but better think twice. You see, I ain't nothing nice. Boy, when that song come on,
That was hilarious.
I rewind, rewind. Let me tell you something. That is for sure in a playlist of mine. Still to
That
this
was
day.
to this day.
To this day. Okay?
Rightfully so. That was so funny. They when it came out of nowhere. First of all, them rapping the song,
I loved it.
the
Every
pastor
minute of it.
saying all the cuss words,
I
just
loved
with
it.
his
Sometimes you
full
gotta cuss.
chest.
Sometimes you gotta cuss. Say it with your whole chest. Say it with your whole chest.
Yes, I'm like they really rapped the full like verse, both verse.
Full
That
blown.
was
Let
that
me
was
tell you
next
something.
level.
If Crime Mob ain't proud, I, I am.
They did
That was
that.
impressive. That was impressive.
They should have ended. Now, if that had been the last scene, I probably would have gave it a 5. You ended on a high note, baby. If they would have ended with that, oh, that's
We
all the
wouldn't have had
resolution I
not
need.
one,
I
we
wouldn't have.
wouldn't have
I wouldn't
had
have
not one issue.
nary a issue. I would have known. Oh, that last scene that meant First Lady about to get it. She about to go off. She just saying
Okay.
the whole verse to "Nuck if you buck." I already
Yeah,
know.
we
It's
knocking and bucking and ready to fight. Yeah, she was ready. Let me tell you something. Regina,
she did that
slow
seriously,
clap. Mm.
ma'am. Oh,
I've been listening to that song this week
on
just
repeat.
randomly. Just randomly. Sometimes you got to listen to those turn
You do.
songs to get you.
Yeah, yeah. You definitely do. Another thing, another part on the movie before we move on, and I hate to take it down from a high note, but
Ugh.
the bedroom scene.
Ooh. I want to close my eyes and not talk about it and pretend like it never happened,
Okay, we don't
because
have to. We don't have to talk
that
about that.
part was the part that I knew. I was like, oh, this is about, this is about, this is about. I was thinking it all along, but this is about.
That was so cringe. I was just like, I don't know about that, sis. That's what I'm like. It really is. Even though
I
I'm
gotta bite
saying
my
like,
lip. I gotta bite my lip.
yeah. Even though I'm saying like, listen to me on that last thing, but no, really, everybody, you live your own life. Your tolerance level is yours.
Don't listen to me. Don't listen to
I'm
her.
talking from my own personal lived experiences. I do think I have my thoughts, but at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, you do what you do. That
Yeah.
is such an interesting position to be in. Like, if that were a real thing, like that whole bedroom scene, I'm like, wow, that's what's
It
going down
hurts.
round town. And
She,
she's saying she said
you
she would
know,
kill him before she leaves.
because that's our church as much
Wow.
as it is. You know,
Okay.
the crazy part is, I don't listen to me, but I'm sure there's so many women that have been in that same
Whoo. That's a toughie.
situation. I don't even know how do you, I don't know. Moving on.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I
That
can't
that was
I can't
I
stay on
wish I
that.
would have I
I
should have
can't
talked
stay on
about that
that.
earlier. My bad.
I can't stay on that.
Brought the
Oof,
whole movie
that
down.
just gives me chills, child. Ooh, the
The
heebie
heebie
jeebies.
jeebies. Okay. We're the same.
We're the same person. Heebie jeebies. Listen, but no, for real. Okay. I do want to talk about, and I know we have read this together, but I know we like to read at least a book or a couple of books a month. I want to talk about what's in our library. You want to talk about
Oh
the
yeah.
recent book that we read and how it kind of
Oh.
correlates in between the
Oh yeah, you go.
patriarchy of,
Yeah, yeah, go yeah.
well, the book that's in my library currently is Red Lip Theology by Candace Benbow. And who child, who
Ooh,
child,
child.
who child, the way she talk
Oh yeah.
about what it means to be a black woman in faith today.
Mhm. Really
I
good.
it was eye opening. Now I will, in all transparency, and don't listen to me. There were some parts where I was just like, now Candace, why did you do that? Why would you do
Yeah.
that, Candace? You knew better. You
Yeah, yeah,
knew
yeah,
better,
yeah.
Candace. But ultimately, I took a lot away from that book, and it was just eye opening to kind of listen to her kind of talk about faith and feminism, you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that's just a whole ceremony in itself, and the patriarchy that she saw, and that a lot of us that have been in ministry have probably seen all along. One of the very prominent memories that I have growing up in the church is, and I'm gonna tell the truth, shame the devil, but I remember way back when the the keyboardist, he was a musician. He was either keyboard or a drummer, and he was dating a woman in the church, right? And of course, they both served in the ministry. Well, they weren't married; they were just dating, and the woman got pregnant, and she had to go in the front of the congregation and
Ooh.
announce her pregnancy, and she was sat down. Well, guess what? Guess who wasn't sat down? They ain't sat the other person down. Guess who wasn't sat down? And I was a teenager when that happened. And I just remember
Wow.
thinking to myself, like, I remember as a teenager, as a girl that didn't even know what feminism or
Mm,
even patriarch, I didn't know
what
those
that was.
terminologies.
Yeah.
I just remember feeling so awful, like, well, I thought he was gonna have to come up and say something too.
Oh, he didn't even have to address the it was
He
just her
didn't
by
even,
herself.
it was just her by herself.
Mm.
And she was the only one that was sat down, and he
I must have been
continued.
in children's
And
church during that announcement, child.
we almost 8 years apart, child. So
I was down to the
if
children's
I was even,
church.
I don't know, maybe I was 11 or 12. I could have been 13, but you was
Hmm.
little. You was probably, you was little. But I always thought that, I always think about
Wow.
that incident, and I'm just like, man, something is really wrong. And it's
Yeah.
still going on all those years
Today.
later.
Yeah.
At today, years old, it's going on.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. What do you think about what did you think about the book?
I really liked it. Like I totally agree with what you're saying. There were some things where I liked her transparency. Like she talked
Yeah.
about some of her personal
Mhm.
areas of growth and how she
Mhm.
kind of had to reconcile some of the decisions that she made that
Mhm.
weren't so
Mhm.
great with being a feminist. Or what I can't. I think that's how she identifies, or womanist.
Mhm.
I'm not sure, something along those lines. But um, I agree. Like some of the things, I think ultimately, I like having a conversation with somebody who thinks differently than me, especially
Mhm.
if it's not like we're trying to prove each other wrong. And I think the
Mm.
intention behind the book wasn't to be like, hey guys, come over to my side and believe what I believe and think how
She
I
on our
think.
page. Don't listen to me. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, literally. It's like it really felt like these things happened to me. I had a reckoning with the way that I view
Yeah.
Christianity and my faith,
Yeah.
and it changed me. And I just
Mhm.
want to share that experience with people. Maybe it,
Yeah.
it resonates with some, maybe it lands with some, but I feel like the ultimate piece of churchy kind of advice that I've gotten throughout church, because you go to, churches where the prophet, he be all off, he be asked like, hey, your wife right here, she
Listen,
is about to get a promotion, and you like, oh, that ain't my wife, that's like, that's my little cousin or something. It's like, whoa,
or
whoa.
a random
Or a
stranger,
random stranger
or someone else's
else's
wife.
wife. So I feel like, every time if we would leave church and it would be just like, ooh, what was they talking about? Or they was all off. And it would be like, oh, well, just eat the meat and spit out the bones. Like, take
Just
what you can that's good and nourishing, and
and
everything else that don't apply,
just
toss
throw
that
it
to the
away.
side. Now I see that could like kind of be not the best approach, because some of the
Right.
things is like it might be hard to listen to, you might not agree with, but it is right. you know but
Yeah.
overall, I do kind of like that approach, just so
Mhm.
like, hey, just because they're saying it doesn't mean that I have to just take it to the bank and cash it. Like,
Absolutely.
I can ask
Absolutely.
questions, I can sit with it,
Mhm.
and ultimately, if it doesn't work for me, all
It just
right, I
doesn't
guess
work
it
for
just don't
you.
work. You know what I mean?
You know.
So some of
No, I
that's
get it.
kind of how I felt. Like some of the things that was like, okay, maybe this is, I understand her point of view.
Mhm.
Valid, valid, valid. For
Yeah, yeah,
me, does
yeah.
it work? Maybe, maybe not. But
Right.
overall, I loved it. I listened to it
That's
on
good.
Audible. She was
Yeah.
the one reading it. The author
She's
was the one
very
reading it.
transparent. Like,
Very.
wow.
It was
It was
very good.
it was. And just, touching on relationship with God versus religion. I think that for me, that's a big part of
Yeah.
my life, because we went to church all the time, and all day, it didn't matter. We was at Bible study, we was at weekly revivals, midweek, Sunday school, mid service, evening service. Um, but I think that the relationship has gotten away from what we consider to be, our walk with God, where it shouldn't be about just the religion part of it. And I think that's where a lot of people
Yeah.
are, these days. And I also think, kind of tying into the movie Honk for Jesus, I honestly think that, especially like people like me and you, we've seen so many things that have kind of gone on in the church, like, and don't listen to me, okay? This is just for me, and pray for me, because I pray to God. I'm gonna just say it, okay?
Say it.
When I go to church now, it's like I just want to go to church and I want to be fed.
Oh,
I don't
mercy, God.
want to have to be on the praise team or over the children church or on the
Yeah.
usher board
Ursher. Now,
or
two people. You need two people?
usher.
Okay. Scoot on
Okay,
over.
you go
Y'all
right
come on
on here.
down.
No, it's
Okay.
space right over there. Go up
Can
there.
y'all scoot down? Scoot down. Yeah, first row. Okay.
It's hard for me at this stage, and I do think that so many people have been hurt by the church to where they
Yeah.
probably take on that same mentality, which I'm not saying that is right.
Right, right.
I'm not, because I really do
Yeah.
continue to pray that, you know what, I know there are good people out there, and I understand that even pastors are human and they
Right.
make humanly mistakes, and none of us are going to get it right
100% of the
a
time.
100%, because
Hmm.
ain't nobody wasn't nobody perfect but Jesus Christ. Okay.
Period.
So with that, I do try to have grace and understand that, you know what, I still sin too. I know I'm drinking, but Jesus drank wine. Okay. hmm
Mm.
But I say that to say, I do think that it has kind of created turmoil turmoil in the church, and the way we view going to church. So I am really praying that, you know what, God, instead of just me going to church, and I know this is the way I think, that I don't want to, I just want to be in the pews. I just want to be fed the word of God, and feel your presence. Wow, that's what I really want. I also want to feel the presence of God and feel that, you know what, this is actually a church that I would love to serve in, because I'm passionate about that. I'm passionate about serving, and I sometimes feel like, okay, well, what is my purpose? And what am I doing for my community? Or what am I doing for, the people of God? And I think that we've gotten away from that so much. Like, when we used to
Yeah.
drive down to the Greenbrier Mall in the West End, we used to see the Muslims out there selling bean pies all the time. Even
Yeah.
even that, we don't see that. We don't see, you know, 7 Day Adventists, or we don't see passing out the pamphlets anymore, or trying to, like, just stir up different things in the community. And that's where I feel that this is just it's just lost. And maybe it's just where I'm at. I don't know. Maybe that's not true for everyone.
Could be not. But but I agree with you. I think in general, like everything, especially with COVID,
Mhm.
has moved to
Mhm.
like this virtual. It's just
Mhm.
less, the world is
It's
less
more comfortable.
person to person
Yeah.
contact. Like we're not doing that. We're not talking to strangers. We're
Right.
the way that we network and
Oh,
build
I don't
community
want to
is
talk to strangers. Oh,
it's it looks very different now, the way that we build community.
yeah.
um I do think that where I am now with my faith, I guess because I just felt like it was so harmful to me. Some of the
Mhm.
things that I bought into initially.
Mhm.
Um, I'm speaking for me. So don't listen to me and apply it to you or
To
anybody
your
else.
life,
And
right?
to be clear, I ain't judging nobody who do it different, okay? Because I don't want y'all
Period.
judging me.
Because we
But,
ain't listening to you either.
period. Goodbye. Okay? But I do think that it's okay to kind of, not even kind of, to question God, to ask the Bible questions,
Mhm.
to study and to learn, and
Study and show thyself approved.
yes, to explore and to
Mhm.
find what God is trying to get from you as an individual. I
Yeah.
do think sometimes that is in the structure of a church. Like,
Yeah.
I believe that while I served in church, that was what I was supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
I feel
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
even though some of it, I know I made a billion mistakes, and I constantly ask God to cover the people that I spoke to, who now maybe 10, 20 years later, I'm like, I'm a completely
Mm.
different person. And I don't know if
Isn't
I
that
was saying
something?
the right thing to them back then. And I'm
Wow.
like,
That's
God,
so
I just hope that
good.
everybody that I spoke to and impacted, that
They
you
found their
ultimately,
own
yeah, they
way.
found their
Yeah.
own way, that
Yeah.
that, if they had a negative experience based on some of the things that I share with them, that
Mm.
they forgive me, because I was, learning, and I'm still learning. And that's why we saying, don't listen to
Don't
me.
listen to
Listen to
me.
God. Listen to the God
Yeah.
inside of you. You know what I'm saying? God, one of the things,
That's so good.
recently, I told someone who was basic someone, they were saying, oh, they were saying, like, I have to tell this person this, because I will have to be accountable if I don't. While
Mm.
that could be true, that could be
Mhm.
true. And I
Mm.
also think that there is a segment of people that can support folks even when they're finding their way and may not be getting it right all the
Absolutely.
time. And guess what? God will still get the message to that person. You know what I
Won't
mean?
he
It's,
do it?
yeah,
He
it's kind of
will.
like, you just read the room, baby. if
Read. Girl,
if
you know how we feel
if
about
you,
reading rooms. Nah.
like it's applicable to every other thing in life.
Every.
But when
Mm.
it comes, sometimes when it comes to, like, oh, this is just so, like, women, you gotta, and women, you just, and it's like,
Yeah.
but I'm tired. I
I'm
was so
tired.
tired
I'm exhausted.
yesterday. I text my best friend. I said, look, I'm tired. All I want is a shoulder rub and spaghetti when I get home.
Spaghetti.
I was like, ooh, I
Comfort food.
wish, I
Comfort
would,
food.
I wish somebody's son that I was married to, nights like this, I wish that I was in a place to be married again.
Uh, 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 uh.
Oh. So I could get my shoulders rubbed. It like 1 hour out of the day. I was like,
Yeah.
that would have been real nice. But then I woke up the
You
next
can.
morning and was like, yeah,
I'm
I'm
good.
good. I'm good now.
I mean, you could always set something
Man.
up. I mean, if you just really.
By that, I'm assuming you mean a masseuse. But don't
Okay.
listen
Don't
to
listen to
her.
me.
Don't listen to me. I am
Don't.
saved.
Sanctified
Okay.
and filled with the Holy
Thank you. I
Ghost
don't do
of
that. I don't be
Jesus
sinning like
Christ.
that. Uh-uh. Not me.
Hallelujah. Yes. We can have a church break right now. You wanna have a praise break? No, I'm
Yep.
kidding.
Oh.
Mm-mm. I'm kidding. Don't listen to me. You should know. You should know better. Okay.
Well, I don't.
Because you went
Um.
right along with it. Oh
Oh
God,
man.
that's so
Okay.
funny.
Y'all. Well, this has been
It's been
a good
great.
old time.
It's been
A
a
good old
a
time.
dandy old time. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna do this again.
Yeah.
Listen, just support. We want to just be our real authentic selves. sisters that literally have these are the conversations that we have on a daily basis. Me and Lauren, if we weren't talking to you guys, we would be on the phone for just as long talking these things through. So
Yeah.
even though you're not supposed to listen to us, take away what you can. And we hope that something has sat in your heart
Sheesh. Mighty God.
and you have felt the power of the Lord Jesus Christ through this message. Amen.
Hey. My, my, my.
Because he will do it. He will do a new thing. Okay,
God
tell
damn.
him something, Lauren. Tell him something.
Oh, I don't have a word from the Lord, but I do want to say thank you to everyone who's going to listen, who is listening.
Yeah.
I have been trying to talk my sister into doing like a little podcast. Like y'all want to listen to what we got to say. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But we're going to talk anyway.
Still up for the verdict. We'll see.
Oh yeah. We're going to see, but yeah, hopefully, you guys come back and listen to us and check us out. We're going to try to keep this going as long as we possibly can. We want to do it on a schedule, but like we said, my sister, a whole professor out here. And I got things
Lauren,
going on
a whole
too. You know what I'm saying? I be
supervisor.
doing things. I'm out here. I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? But you had like a thing. It was like words of wisdom that you wanted to give. Wasn't it? Did you have some words of wisdom?
Yes,
Okay.
I do have words of thank
Yeah,
you,
you're welcome, sis. So while she's pulling up her words of wisdom again, this is Jam Jar. I'm drinking this tonight. We'll probably have, hopefully we can put y'all on this Snoop's wine twist top gang baby. You feel
gang,
me?
gang. Okay, listen.
Don't play me.
Convenience is key.
Period. So yeah, we'll try to give y'all some different drinks, different wine. We actually do drink wine, but every once in a while, the night calls for whiskey.
So. Yeah. Oh, listen. We going out this weekend. It's our brother's birthday.
Oh,
happy birthday, B.
Oh, happy birthday, brother. We love you.
Y'all, we love you so much. And y'all just left repping Georgia alumni. He's an alumni, Georgia Bulldogs. Go Bulldogs. They play on Saturday. Boom.
Oh, yes.
We're gonna beat whoever we playing on. No, we playing.
Wanted to say this too before we end. Shout out to, RIP Queen Elizabeth. We just got the news today. Yo,
I thought she was gonna live forever.
Forever. That
everybody got their own opinion about her, but let me just say, RIP.
Yeah.
I hope she rests in peace. Did you see the 2 rainbows over the castle today?
I saw that picture y'all sent. That's a trip.
Ain't that something?
That's a trip, man.
It is.
So,
but nonetheless,
family.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about the week to come. Tell you guys all about our weekend and the days to come before we are able to chat with you guys again. But I just want to leave you all with this positive note. Don't listen to me, but I mean, I think it's a positive note. And it comes from a very wise man. And by wise man, I mean Charlemagne the God. Anybody know him? Okay. We have to accept that some people are really effed up. And it's not our job to heal them.
Ooh.
Sit on that. Peace.
And on that note,
we out.
Bye.